I left off that story was that we came to view the house and we absolutely fell in love with this house. We were so happy about this house. Um, and it was what we wanted, you know. So what happened was, so now getting to the actual process of, okay, I'm ready. I actually want to buy this house, right? After the viewing, let me think. Okay, so we viewed the place. I was happy. I was happy with what I saw. I was like, these people didn't just sell me dreams online on their pictures. The house is really what it is on the pictures. Anyway, so on our way out, the real estate agent comes to me and he asks me, what do I think? Where's my mind at? And I'm like, I'm very happy with what I saw. And we started speaking about the price of the house. And to be honest, like the reality is that if I were to go elsewhere, I wouldn't get exactly what I want for that price. Like my other options would be two-bedroom flats, one-bedroom flat, which was not even an option. But I wanted an outdoor space. Like I wanted a family home, if I can say that. Like I didn't just want a space for myself. Um, like it wasn't just about me. Anyway, so yeah, my other options were two-bedroom flats. Um, yeah, like those were my other options, like much smaller places. We know apartments are quite smaller, all of that. So we speak about that. Then he asked me, have I done pre-approval? Um, so I'm like, no, I don't even know what's that. And then he says, okay, let me tell you what. So he explains to me that pre-approval is basically just finding out what you qualify for when it comes to a home loan. You fill in the necessary documents, and then the people, whoever's doing it for you, you can do it via a bank. You can do it via these agents as well. And then basically they just find out for you what you qualify for, or like what kind of home loan you qualify for. So anyway, he asked me if I've done that. I say no. He says, actually, you can do it through us. I can set you up with our bond originators that we work with. I think it was people from Better Bond, if I'm not mistaken. And then you can fill in the forms, and then they can see, they can apply to the banks for you, like basically pre-approval, right? To see what you qualify for, and then we can take it from there. Then he did explain to me, but I was a bit skeptical. I was like, ooh. And then it's like, no, this doesn't tie you in any way to us or to this house, right? This is just for your information. And the thing is, you can use this anywhere. It's valid for 3 months. I don't know if every pre-approval is valid for 3 months and if you can use it everywhere, but he explained to me that the one that they do, it's valid for 3 months. You can use it anyway, even if you decide not to buy this house, even if you decide to go with some other real estate agent and they find you a better deal or whatever, you can use it, right? So I'm like, okay, let me do that. So he asked me to send I think my email address to him, and then he'll give it to his people, and then they'll email me the forms, whatever. Anyway, I went home all happy, very happy with the house, and so on and so on and so on. And then, guys, I went quiet. I went quiet for a few months after that day because I felt like, I think doubt started creeping in, fear started creeping in. I felt like I was being um, unrealistic. I was feeling I was having high standards. Um, like I just became so doubtful. And what had happened also, that was October 2021. What had happened also during that time, my permanency was in process. So it was approved in July. Like I got that pay cut. For those who don't know, if you're a South African teacher, you get a certain percentage. If you're on contract, when you just start out, a certain percentage of that contract salary is actually a service bonus. Anyway, we'll speak about these things again when I speak teacher stuff. But when you become permanent, those things get deducted. And yeah, I'll explain in another video why and where it goes to. But yeah, so when you become permanent, you get basically a pay cut. I know, crazy. Other people, they become permanent and they get a raise. But we listen and we don't judge. Anyway, so that's what happened. I got that pay cut, right? So now as the months went on, I was like, are you really doing this? Do you really think you can do this? Like you got a pay cut. Will you be able to afford the house and your life when it comes to the fact that you are now on a permanent salary? So all these things went through my mind and I just became quiet. I stopped speaking about this house, like, and luckily for me, I had no one pressuring me. No one was like, "Hi, you said you're gonna buy a house. Why's the house? Why are you quiet?" Like, we went to view a house. No one was pressuring me. So I could sit in my doubt. I could allow myself to sit in my feelings and really think about this thing. But more than anything, like I really became so full of fear. I was like I remember even once sending my friends a message. I was like, guys, when I'm scrolling property 24 and I'm seeing the prices of these houses and even the one that I want, like I feel like I'm being unrealistic. I feel like I'm setting the bar too high and all of that. And as I've said before, my friends are really faith-filled women of God. They were just like, girl, remember who your father is. Remember the God that you serve, right? So you have nothing to be fearful about. And I remember Londi was even saying, even what you are asking is not up to the standard that compared to what he can give you, you know. So it's like, girl, no, let's get that faith on again, you know. Like just really speaking sense into me, really rallying around me, hyping me up, like with good words, you know, like really um, making me regain my confidence in this decision that I've taken and believing and trusting that God can do it for me. If I feel like I can't do it by myself, if I'm looking at my salary, believing that God can work beyond these things. Anyway, so months passed, October finished, November came and it went, December came and it went. And obviously, as we are in New Year, in a new year, um, the beginning of the new year, I thought about this again. I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready now. I think I'm ready to start this process, right? Um, I feel like I'm full of faith for this process. So at the beginning of 2022, January, I'm like, I feel like I'm ready to do this. Anyway, so I didn't go back to the real estate agent yet. Again, I went, I emailed, or I responded on the email that they sent me in October with the forms for pre-approval. So I reached out, I replied on the email. I'm like, hi, remember I spoke to you a few months ago. Is this still valid? Can I still do this now, or am I too late? Like I know I took a few months. I went MIA. Um, and then the lady was like, no, sure, like fill in your forms and send it back to me. I did that. I think I took like a few days because I needed to gather bank statements, pay slips, all those kinds of things, you know. What else? Like just everything you need, proof of address, like just think of normal big purchase processes, like the stuff that you would need. So I had to gather all of those things. So like on my end, I took a bit long. I think I took 3 4 days like to gather these things. Anyway, and fill out my form, whatever. It's quite a lengthy form, actually. So I filled out my stuff. I emailed it back to her. I emailed her everything, pay slips, bank statements, everything that she wanted. And like 3 4 days later, was it a week later? I'm not sure, but it wasn't long. That she got back to me and she's like, Kristen, I have these, I think 1 or 2 banks responded with what they would be willing to offer you. And I was like, sharp, 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 sharp. Anyway, so now I'm like, you know what, I can do this. I think as things went on, like things just like it started off so well, like things just went so smoothly. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, sharp. Now I know what I qualify for. I can get the full bond that I need because also I didn't save up for a deposit. Um, yeah, I'll speak about that more. But I qualified for 100% bond. Anyway, so then I went back to the real estate agent. I'm like, listen, I sent him a screenshot of what the bond originator people sent me about what I qualify for. And I'm like, listen, this is what I qualify for. I'm ready to start this process. And then he's like, um, oh, wait, before I went back to him, I I don't know which came first. It's either I completed the pre-approval forms or I checked online. I checked property 24 again. I think I first checked property 24 again and I saw that this house is still available. And that was my stamp. Yeah. I think when I went into the and I was like, I'm ready to start this process. I think I went to just see what's out there, what the listings are looking like. I think that's what I did first. And when I saw my house is still there, let me tell you, that was like the clearest sign of God saying, "This is your house." Like I felt all these months, even in my silence, I couldn't stop thinking about this house. So it was just like that stamp of approval. This is your house. I'm keeping it safe for you. You know, so yeah, and the house wasn't on actually for long. I think the listing came out in July. I think I said that, and it was only January now. So I was like, this is my house, guys. And then I did the pre-approval. Then I found out what I qualify for, and I went to speak to the real estate agent again. So I message him, I'm like, this is what I qualify for. Then he says, oh, great, let's see what's out there. Like, let's see what's available. I'm like, no, sir. The house I wanted in October is still available. He's like, oh, really? Like, let me actually then reach out to the owners and say that we have a possible buyer, or potential buyer. Anyway, he did that. I think whichever day I told him that, either the next Saturday or like a week later, I came here and I came to sign the offer to purchase. I still remember Nontu coming with me. And one, my friends, guys, my friends are just amazing. Even when we got here, Nontu was like, Kristen, like, this house is yours. Like, I love this for you, whatever, whatever. So it's just that, like, people saw what I saw. Not to say that I needed people's approval. Like, I knew what I wanted and I knew that this is what I wanted. But just everyone confirming, stamping it. It's like, it's mine, it's mine. Anyway, so I came here, um, kind of negotiated the price down, and they actually went down by 100,000. But you know what? Sometimes, like, I also feel like these things are premeditated in the sense that the real estate agent speaks with the sellers, and then it's like, we want this, and then maybe the real estate agent says, let's make it 50K more, and then because we, like, chances are the buyer would negotiate, and then when the price comes down, we know that you're still getting what you want. Like, you know, that's just how things are, right? So because it was too easy, it was just too easy. And then the thing they told me, it's like, no, he said that the buyers felt like, since it's you like a young single person who's buying this house, and your age, and when they bought this house, the wife was actually my age. So it's like, it's just that thing, like, we feels you and we just want to bring the price down for you. I don't know how much truth is in that, but anyway. Yeah, so signed an offer to purchase, and that offer to purchase is a legal binding contract. Now the process officially, hey, English, it's not my motherland, it's not my mother tongue. Anyway, so now the process officially started. An offer to purchase, once you sign an offer to purchase, it's really hard to get out of it. Um, if you have found it easy in your experience, like, please do let us know in the comment section what you did. But anyway, so yeah, so just to recap, now actually starting the process, I would suggest start with a pre-approval just to see what you qualify for. And then after that, you can either first find the house, or after that you can find something that you like, and then you can now come together with your buyers, with your sellers, and then you sign an offer to purchase. The bond originator people submit your offer to purchase, and then it's either, like, I got exactly what they offered me the first time. So it's either the bond, what happened? It's either sometimes, maybe, let's say if it's months later, like, and things change in your life, maybe they could offer you something different, I don't know. But when I did pre-approval, was 100% home loan, and even now. Anyway, and then I spoke to the real estate agent, and I asked him, like, listen, I saw, or I heard in doing my research, I heard that these things called transfer duty, bond registration cost, all these types of costs, like, how much can I expect, right? So I spoke to him about that. And then he tells me, he actually sent me like a table. I think it was by this Better Bond people. He sends me a table, but this table changes every year. It's like, that was a 2022 table. And on this table, they have your purchase amount. So if you, for example, are buying a house for 500,000 Rand, based on that amount that the house is, you're going to have a certain amount for transfer duty, for transfer duties, for registration costs, all of those. And that's how if there's anyone who can enlighten us if I'm saying this wrong, but that's how what I saw, and that's how I understood the that table, that breakdown of, if your house is X amount that you want to purchase, your transfer cost will be this, your transfer duties will be this. Like, that's how I understood it. So it's a set amount. So everyone who's, for example, buying a 500,000 Rand house will can expect that, right? So that's how I understood it. So then I first actually asked him about the fact that I heard, because in that masterclass that I attended, FNB was saying that they sometimes can offer even more than the 100% loan, right? And they cover you without deposit, all of these things. So I knew I was safe. And also the fact that I got my feedback from the bonds of what I qualify for, knowing I didn't have a deposit. What I saved was just for these other costs. Like I didn't have enough for it didn't save enough for it to also cover some sort of deposit, right? So I asked him like, but I know that some banks actually say that they can cover or give you a home loan for up to 110%. Like I think FNB were one of those banks. And then it's like, yes, I get you, but when it comes to this transfer duty cost and all of that, that's money you should actually have ready. So what because he said before before the bank release the money to the sellers, before that happens, you must have paid these transfer costs and your attorney fees. All of those must be done. So you can't wait for the bond money to come into play. That's how he explained to me. All our experiences are different. We are advised differently by whoever we're working with in the purchase process. If yours were different, maybe you can also tell us like what happened in your experience. Maybe you got the money and you didn't have to save for these things. Let us know in the comments. Anyway, so then he said he would suggest that, like, he actually would say that's money that you need to have ready. So I'm like, no, 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 sharp, 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 my guy. The money is ready. It's in my savings. Just let me know when I need to have it ready for, because at the time, sorry, I just need to check. Okay. Because at the time I had a 32-day notice account, I think. So my savings was in there. So I just need to request the money. So it's like, no, not now, but I'm happy to hear that you have your money ready. Anyway, so that's another thing. When I say save, guys, save, 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 you are saving. Even when you look on Property 24, when you click on the calculator and then they give you an estimated monthly installment, and then it says total once-off cost. That total once-off cost can guide you as to what can you have like saved up when you want to start this process. Because mine was like quite similar. It was probably out by 2,000 rand or so. Anyway, so when he sent me that, like, mine was exactly according to that table actually that he sent me, like that's exactly what I paid. Anyway, so when he sent me that, I was like, good, good, good. So I've actually saved to the point where I would have extra money left for moving costs, because we need to move here, and for small things that I would want to change once I moved in. One thing about me, when I started looking for a house, I was very specific on the house must be move in and live ready. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I must be able to move in and live there. Whatever renovations I would love to do mustn't be a necessity. It mustn't be, I can only move in after I've done this. I can only live in this space after I've renovated this. There wasn't money for renovations. And nobody got money laying around for that. So I just had that bit of savings. Yeah, I had that bit of savings. And what did I want to say now? Yeah, so that's the thing. So in this house offered me that, like the house that I saw offered me that yes, there's a few things that I would want to change. There's some maintenance that I would want to do, but it's not pressing things. I can move in and live there for a year or two without being uncomfortable by these things. So when I saved all the money I'd left after these total ones, of course, bond registration, all of those transfer duty costs, the money I had left, I could do things like what you call move pay for my whole family moving here, and then also paint. Like I wanted to paint. I didn't paint the whole house, but I think I just painted the 3 bedrooms. Yeah, I just painted the 3 bedrooms. And obviously I have to pay the person that was going to paint. What else did I do? But for small things like that, like I had money left for that. So save, 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 guys. Anyway, what's next? So yeah, so then the process was in full motion. We had started the process. I had signed my offer to purchase. I got back that vele vele you qualify for this thing. And yeah, guys, like the process in terms of steps, next was so smooth. After that, like I think a month after that, like I had to meet with attorneys where, like, guys, I can't explain exactly what we did then. But anyway, but moral of the story is that after you offer to purchase and the bank comes back to you and they're like, sharp, like you'll be guided from there as to next steps. Like I can't really say, then you choose this, you choose that, you choose that. Like it's all about who the bank works with or who the bond originators um, suggest to you. Like I just got emails that you must come to this in this attorneys. I remember the first attorneys I had to meet with was in Stellenbosch. Yeah, that was the first attorneys. The next attorneys was when we did the final signatures, and they had to go and lodge. I think it's called lodge the property in the deeds office. That was like the final step of it. After I've signed those things, that next attorneys or I think they were conveyances. They they were in Somerset West. So yeah, but guys, if I can tell you that this process was so smooth. The actual buying the house process went so smooth. Can I tell you that I started the process the end of January, beginning of April, I was in my house. That's like, if I don't count January, that's like um, February, March, 2 months, 2 months. Like, this is a process that can take long depending on circumstances, right? But everything just went so smooth, guys. No hiccups in terms of the actual purchasing process, right? And that just gave me so much peace that, you know what? God is with me. His hand is on this. Like He has blessed me, He has blessed this process. Hence, everything is going so smooth. However, and I feel like I need to say this. I honestly need to say this. Guys, when you are busy with such big life changing processes that's going to be for your betterment or even for the betterment of your family, whatever your case is, let me tell you, it's not going to come without challenges. Let me just tell you that. I wish someone told me that, right? And it might not be with the actual purchasing process, like in my case. I didn't have any issues with the actual purchasing process. But other stuff around me during those months, guys, I was going through the most. I was going through the most. And I'm saying this to say that don't get discouraged by that. You know, when you feel called to do something and you feel like the Lord is blessing you to do this and He's giving you the go ahead, just know that the enemy will come and try and derail you. He will come and fight you. He will try to be the bestest weapon formed against you. But here I am. I'm sitting in my house. So I am testimony to say that those weapons won't prosper. You know? Guys, if I can tell you all the things that happened during those months, 80 blow fun. Our pipes under the sink burst. And let me tell you how it happened. It didn't burst like, wah, and there it's bursting. It started with leaks. We would take pots out of that cupboard, and then it's like, how there's water in these pots. What's happening? And I remember that day. Luckily, my cousin was there, and we actually asked him to quickly look at it. And as he looked, he didn't even do much, and it started dripping faster. And it's like it started spraying. Like many many of those, like it had holes almost like that. It didn't have holes, but it started doing that. And in no time our kitchen was flooded. Water was going to the bedrooms. I wish I still had videos of that experience. Anyway, we had to bring out blankets and stuff just to contain the water. That happened after years of not having any issues with our pipes at our home, at my parents' home. That happened. Another thing that happened, and my nephew actually told me this, that my parents almost got in, my mother and my brother, they were driving together with my nephew. They almost got into an accident, and it's like just around the corner from home. Like, and I remember my nephew even said, "Oh, mama was shouting, like she was like, whoa!" Like it could have been a bad accident, right? That happened. My car, Upluza. Those who know me knows Upluza. Upluza was under attack, guys. Every other week or 5 weeks or 3 weeks, something happened to my car. One day my car was parked outside, a fight broke out outside, and a brick was thrown onto my windscreen. So I had a big dent in my windscreen. If I have videos, I will insert it. Another day, I came from a parent meeting at school, so I came home a bit later. And you know, people who stone cars in the hopes that you would stop and then they would rob you, that happened. I just drove and I heard Kwah, and my back window was out. One of the back windows were out. That happened. Another thing that happened now when we were actually in the house, um, the first week of us being in the house, I remember our neighbor back home came to stay with my sister and I, because my parents could only like really move here the weekend. We came on a Wednesday. I remember it was a Wednesday, so just for the house to not be alone. We came on the Wednesday, and our neighbor came to stay with us. Auntie Natalie, if you're watching this, shout out to you, best neighbor ever. Anyway, so she came to stay with us during those weeks, during that or during those few days. And the Friday night we had to take her home. Guys, well, we're not victims of smash and grab. Guys, to the point where these guys, they stood at a distance, they threw bricks, and then when the impact happened, they came running. They were in the car. Like they couldn't unlock the doors. Like, but I don't think the aim wasn't fully to hurt us. Let me say that. Yes, everyone was going to do smash and grab, like vele vele they want to hurt you in some way. But it wasn't about us, it was about what they could grab. And unfortunately, the boot was full, so um our neighbor sat with two pillows on her seat. And it's like they were scouting for cars where they could see their stuff. If we hit that car, we're gonna grab valuables. That's what I guess what they thought, right? So that's what happened. They came running, and luckily, like we were standing at the robot. Luckily, and not luckily, like it was God. I was standing in front. There were no one in front of me. I was at the robot. It was red for us. The other people had to go, right? But when that happened, like they were in the car, but they didn't come to my side. The best thing they could have done was to not distract the driver. When they threw the bricks, one of the bricks hit the desk board and it went against my head. But guys, God was with us. God was with us. They tried grabbing, like, guys, they were from both sides at the back. They were basically attacking her because they saw stuff there. One was on one side, one was on the other side. Like they were pulling her side to side and trying to grab stuff. And she was saying that afterwards, like one was grabbing because her laptop bag was on the floor. But luckily, like he couldn't really reach it. They were hanging in the car. And this thing happened so fast. But when I looked in my side mirror, I just saw these people in the car. Anyway, and basically what they got away with was two pillows. But what happened is that, and that was the Lord that calmed me down. I saw this and I didn't freak out. And guys, I went into the traffic. I went into the traffic, and I say this was God, because what happened is that other people around us saw this happening. I remember there were two taxis standing and they were supposed to go, but the moment it happened, somehow they stopped and they waited for my reaction, right? I think they also realized if I drive, we could drive into each other. But it was really God. It was God. They stopped and I went. I went over that red robot. Guys, and when stuff like this happen, like if you panic, like the car could have switched off. I could have struggled to start, like, but when I saw someone hanging in the car, it's like, I went. I left. Like this thing happened, like I'm telling it like it was a long story. This thing probably happened in less than 5 minutes. In less than 5 minutes. We walked away from there with a traumatic experience. Probably PTSD from that experience, but unharmed. Even the brick that hit my head, like I was fine. I was a bit dizzy later that night. I wasn't feeling too well and all of that. But other than that, like we were not hurt. So I'm saying all this to say that, and guys, these things were happening after each other, and it can become discouraging. It really can feel like you just want to stop and give up. Is our mic still fine? Our mic is good. You could find yourself in a place that you just want to give up. Anyway, guys, that was part one of this. And with my end of story time, I just want to encourage someone that when you go on this journey, be open to face adversity. But if you know that this is something that God has ordained or set out for you, then don't be distracted. Don't be put off by all the other things. Guys, thank you so much for coming back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing, for liking, for commenting. And speaking about comments, please engage in the comments. Please like share with us whatever your experiences as has been, if you've gone through this process, if there's stuff I've said that maybe now change, like I spoke about credit score, if there's other ways, like guys, let's be a community that like empower each other. Share any advice, anything that you could share. Also, let me know if this was helpful. Part two will also come out. Part two will be about, now that we are here, what has the experience been like? What has life been like? What would I advise people who's going home viewing? Stuff like that. That would be part two. Anyway, guys, once again, thank you so much for coming back by. If you were new here, thank you for watching. And yeah, just thank you for all the love and support. I'll see you on the next video on part two. Please be sure to watch that. I feel like part two is just a little bit more important than part one. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys. Until next time, bye.